My name is Dr. Melissa Sadler-Nitu, and I live up the street from you, although it just took me 40 minutes to get here, in Seguin, Texas. So while I have worked with large workforce boards, community college board members, and city leaders all over the United States, I do also reside in a town that is a small community as well, and probably growing at a slower rate here than Kirby, but still we're facing some of the same issues of growth and leadership and all of that type of thing. So I'm really excited to be here tonight with you and talk to you about where's Kirby going, what's the next steps, and where's the future of Kirby. So I titled this One Team, One Kirby, because in order to get there, we've got a lot of challenges. We've got a lot of things coming in from the outside. We have the potential of new growth. We have the potential and we have the movement of new companies coming in. We have new people moving in from other places. And yet, sometimes we might find ourselves with our natives, sometimes sitting on the sidelines if we don't get ourselves in leadership, ready for these new opportunities and preparing the way for everybody else. So, one team, one Kirby, team building and leadership session. Are you ready tonight on Friday? Are we ready on Friday night? Yes! Okay. That's it. Okay, so let's move on. So this is tonight's journey. It's going to be easy. It's Friday night. We've all had a tough week. It's been a long week, and so we want to take a nice, easy way to really build our team and take some time to think about things tonight. So we're going to talk about New Cheese Ahead, taken from the book Who Stole My Cheese, or Who's My Cheese. And I'm going to introduce another type of change management book that maybe you have not heard of, Deep Change. Quinn is one of my favorites. And we'll talk a little bit about that. And why we serve, create our team playbook, and then we'll be closing. Easy enough? Easy enough. All right. Awesome. Okay, so what I know about this team, and I don't know a lot about you, and you don't know a lot about me, but in 1 hour I think we're going to get to know a lot about each other. But what I do know coming in here is that most of you have been here for quite some time. You've been in your positions, you've been serving this community for quite some time, and you know each other. So you have deep experience. You have a long history together. And I hope that you all have a deep love for Kirby, Texas, and want to see this community thrive. Okay, so who moved my cheese? Has everybody read this? Okay, well, in case you haven't, I'm going to give you the synopsis, or because it's been a while, but it's pretty easy.
It's going to become our community book. We're going to do a book table talk for the community, invite the community out to read the book, and in September, we're going to ask the community to come together and go through this process and share their thoughts.
I love it. Spoiler alert, I'm going to give you the quick synopsis, okay? Just to get everybody up to speed. So if you don't want to hear the result, real quick. Just for anybody that may not have seen it or read it or heard about it, okay, who moved my cheese? So, or maybe you used it as a poster. I don't know, but we're going to really get into it. It's an easy story, and it's a really good one. So, really quickly, two mice named Sniff and Scurry, and two little people named Hem and Haw live in a maze. And one day, they find a mountain of cheese. A mountain of cheese. That's really good for two mice. I don't know about the two men. And the mice noticed, and so they quickly got into their habits. They have this gold mine sort of, a lot of resources, so they quickly got into their habits, like who's going to be shoveling, who's going to be bringing, life became very easy and predictable. It it gets good. Routines form. And then one morning, the cheese is gone. The mice noticed it running away. They did have an idea that things were, they might have to start looking here and there. And some of them were already off hunting. And some of the mice had already found new cheese. And it was even bigger than the first pile. So that was great. So, but Hem plants his feet down and he decides that he will wait in a spot of the mountain of cheese and wait till it comes back. That's his plan. And he just waits. And Ha is also scared. But he decides, I don't know if this is such a good idea to be sitting here waiting for cheese to come back. So I'm kind of scared, but I'm going to go ahead and start going on days. A little bit afraid, but I'm going to do it anyway. And as he starts moving, he starts feeling better because he's doing something. Even though he might still be hungry, he might still be afraid, just the act of doing something feels better than doing nothing and sitting and waiting. That's it. That's the whole book. See, I told you it was easy. that is the whole book. But what does it tell us is what's really important, is that we have our plans. We sometimes get set into our ways. We think we can predict what's going to happen. We might even get a little bit bored with our lives at times because nothing exciting is happening. But what happens when there is a crisis or a change? And some people view change as a crisis. How do we handle that? And how do we deal with it? So here's the thing. Nobody finds new cheese alone. Everybody needs help. And so the question I want to air tonight is this one. What new cheese is waiting for Kirby, Texas? And where are you going to find it?
Council meeting?
Yeah?
Everywhere.
I think there's a lot. I mean, just driving down here, I was thinking to myself, getting stuck in traffic, I was thinking to myself, 15 years ago, traffic, going from Highway 10 to Kirby, Texas, from Seguin, Texas, there were 5 houses being built 10 years ago in Seguin, Texas. I don't know what your ratio was here. And those, no, it was 3 houses, sorry. And those 3 houses were Habitat for Humanity. And now there's 1,200 a year being built. So what's happening in our neighborhoods are happening to all of us. So where's the new cheese? It's all around us. It's all around us. But where are we focused? So, sniff, scurry, and paw. I believe I've been all of these people, or all of these animals and people. Sometimes all of these in one day. Some of them, emotions have ran like this in one afternoon or one morning. And I'm sure that you have felt that too, in some way or another. But there's always somebody that sees the new opportunity right away, early adopters. And there's somebody that moves quickly to get to the next thing. And there's always somebody holding on to the past and waiting for things to go back to the way they were. Ever heard that one before? The way we used to do this, the way we've always done this. Sometimes we have people who are holding on to the old cheese. And sometimes we realize that we're kind of ridiculous. And we just have to go, this is what's happening to us, and we have to move on. That's what Ha does, because Ha decides to laugh at himself. So there's the whole story, but it has a lot, and you can work with this for the entire year or even longer. Who Moved My Cheese has been around forever, so it has a lot of deep meaning. But this is the real question we want to talk about tonight: is what new cheese is waiting for Kirby, and how do we find it together? The mouse that runs away, as he's afraid and he's walking away, he sees this in the maze, posted on the maze wall. What would would you do if you weren't afraid? And I don't know about you, I've sat in some leadership positions and some board positions, and I felt my stomach sink and like a roller coaster at some of the decisions and some of the things that I knew in my gut that I needed to say or do or vote for, and that fear was there, but I had to keep feeling it and moving on. So I think this is a really great thought for everybody to walk away with, because what would we do if we weren't afraid? What would we do? What would we say? How would we lead if we led without any kind of fear? And imagine a Kirby leadership team that answered that question out loud, together, everyone. Okay, so that was who moved my cheese. Now I want to show you a little bit about deep change. I've used this book so much that I can only find the field guide. Has anybody ever heard this book? Okay, so this one goes a little bit more complex. Robert Quinn, and now I believe his son, has continued to study, research organization after organization, and wanted to understand what kept some organizations stuck and what kept some organizations moving forward. What do you think the answer was? Not just change. Change is inevitable. Change is inevitable. We're always going to have change. Yeah, it's the organization and it's the leadership of the change. It's the collective leadership of that change that determines. So organizations don't change. The leaders do that. And the leaders do the change one at a time. And that's something that you can do right by yourself. You don't have to ask for permission. You don't have to, you can decide inside yourself that you're going to do that. And I was looking all over for the quote that I think most affected me, and I swear they must have edited out, but it was in the first chapter, maybe 10 or 15 years ago, and it said, are you willing to jump off the cliff for change? If you felt so strongly about something in your organization, would you be willing to jump off the cliff? And that means, really what it means is, are you willing to lose your job for the change that's real?
Every day.
That's a hard question.
Every day.
It is a hard question. Are you willing to do that? Because that's really what it takes to be able to make those changes. Okay. So, change begins on the inside. Growth is contagious. If one person decides to make a change and is out loud about it, other people may not make the same change, but they may decide that they're going to make their changes too. So one leader chooses to grow, it gives everyone else permission in the room to grow as well. So aligned teams move together. Organizations will work actively to pull you back into the way that things work. And that's why you have to be really, really serious about whether you're willing to make that change, whether you're willing to stand on your belief and walk off the cliff for that change. So that's really deep, but one powerful question a leader can ask is not when will you change, but how will you grow? Because you might lose that job. You might make a change for yourself you didn't expect when you stand up like that. But one thing is for certain, no matter what, you won't be the same person. You're going to grow. And back to the cheese, there could be a big mountain of cheese that you never knew about somewhere else. Or right here. You never know. Okay, so deep change gets really technical, gets research. It has best practices. This is the field guide. Feel free to take a look at it, but it's absolutely. Don't look at my answers. I wrote in there. I tried to erase it. That was from a deep dream long ago. Okay. Okay. So here's where we're going to get together and be about you. So find a partner. Well, I'll just explain real quick what we're going to do, and then I'll ask you to find a partner. Okay, so why we serve. I want for everybody to find a partner in the room. And I'll let you select who you want to be with. And I'm going to give you 4 minutes each to answer some simple questions about your why. Okay? And so that's going to be 2 questions. Why? What first called you to serve Kirby? Whether it was as a child or what, whatever. What caused you to serve Kirby? And what is one hope you still hold for Kirby's future? So we're going to pair off, find a partner, and first person's going to go for 4 minutes, and the second person's going to go for 4 minutes, and I'm actually going to time you on my phone, and then we're going to come back and present, and you're going to tell not your why, or not your questions, but that of your partner, the person that you paired up with. Are you ready? Any questions? Okay, find your partner. And once we get into your partners, then we'll start the first segment. Does anybody not have a partner? Okay, I will be your partner. Okay, everybody ready? I'm going to set this for 4 minutes. So for the first 4 minutes, one person will talk about what first called you to serve Kirby and what was one hope you hold for the community's future. Feel free to take notes about that person so that you can repeat it after we finish. Are we ready? Ready? Set. we're gonna switch. All right, so ready? Switch, partners. Okay, I'm gonna leave it at that, that's pretty, I think, potential for economic change with creative, innovative, intentional mindsets. Awesome. Okay.
Okay, so we have our fire captain, Blake Farrell. And is your rock okay? What first called him to serve Kirby, he always wanted to give back. And God told him to join the military or fire service. He chose the fire service. And he chose Kirby specifically because he wanted to make a big impact in a small city. And his hope for Kirby is that it will thrive and reach max potential.
Okay.
Maximum potential. I do apologize.
Okay, thrive and meet max potential.
Maximum potential.
That's a big one.
He needs to know.
Which sounds kind of, similar. Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay, who would like to go next? All right. Wow.
Okay. This is Captain Speed for those of you, we all know Captain Speed. What brought him here is when he attended the academy, fire academy, he was also attending with someone that he never met, happened to, form kinship with, and they both ended up in Gardendale. And from Gardendale, his friend left over to Kirby. And what brought him here was not so much he said not calling, but a way, a foot in the door. I only say that because I asked for a follow-up question and say, so I know he doesn't live here in San Antonio. I know you did say it. Oh, I thought you was saying something. He doesn't even live here in San Antonio. He lives Kyle. So obviously, that has to, there's something that's bringing him back, that keeps him here in Kirby. And he holds out a lot of hope for Kirby. And one of the things that he wants to do is he thinks that we have a shared way of excellence. And he wants to lend to that, and he wants to be able to help accelerate that here in Kirby.
Okay, a shared excellent, accelerate a shared excellence.
Sure.
Would that be right? I don't think anybody would be able to read this with this, okay? All right, thank you.
We got the seniors director, Ms. Kathy here.
Okay.
So, what the call for Kirby? So before she came to Kirby, she didn't have, she had a little different. She wasn't the seniors director. But when she got here, she started getting involved with the seniors. But she always been involved with the seniors. And in 2023, sorry, I had chickens.
She took notes, and so, yeah, you're gonna get this right.
In 2023, her thought process for the senior started to evolve. So, what has kept her here is she wants to be part of it. I think it's a movement that we want to see. It's a movement of the essence. I think that's something that we really agree on is we have a vision that we both see. And she wants to be able to say 20 years from now that she was part of it.
So, is that the hope? Or is it
Hope. Well, yes,
Okay,
but also the hope is that we can become a piece of.
so there's kind of two hopes in there, let's capture them both. Okay, so hope for, what was the first, the part of the movement?
She wants to be part of the movement.
What's the movement?
Of excellence.
Okay. Movement of excellence, and
What first, for her, what first called her to serve in Kirby, she stated she got tricked into it.
Why did you record this?
You were called, you were tricked. Oh, yes, I did. She was tricked into it. Amanda asked her to be on the Parks and Rec Commission shortly after that. She was appointed to city council, maybe 2 months, she said, later. And she said that she can't say that she hasn't enjoyed it. So, as far as the whole, she would like to see the community being more united, like it was when it first got, when she first got to council 9 years ago. She feels at this point it's gone, and help neighbors don't help neighbors as much as they used to.
Okay.
I don't know, maybe it's different. It does, absolutely.
Is that from growth or from,
Which part?
not being as united as it was 10 years ago?
I think that's where kind of society's going now. They're a little bit more sheltered, a little less trusting, a little less involved with each other.
Neighbors are not as friendly these days.
And so conflict resolution is great when it does occur.
Yeah, imagine a lot of things played into that.
Yes.
Okay, so I got united community as your hope.
Okay. What first called you to serve Kirby?
Excuse me, who is she?
Oh, I'm sorry. This is,
Hi, I'm
Chief.
Carla.
This is, Chief Roxanne Cardona, Chief of Police in the city of Kirby. Right, so what first called you to serve Kirby? So, she was an officer in another town, and she saw the lieutenant, position opportunity. So she figured the only way to change culture in law enforcement was to apply, so she could innovate a culture that she didn't like in law enforcement.
Nice.
And the second question was, what is one hope you hold for our community's future? One thing that hurts is that I hold on to an expectation, and I'm not sure
That it can be.
that it can be fulfilled. And people need to learn to love each other's differences and opinions.
Is that
The hope, that is the hope. So that's not my expectation, the hope is consistent for me. I want people to learn to love each other's differences and opinions, respect each other's boundaries. And ultimately, the goal would be to have a more unified community.
And then you unify, so I'm starting to pick up on a theme here. And we have a personality here.
It took me long enough. Honestly, you better get this right.
Right. Listen there, brother, and as far as what first called you to serve Kirby, she wanted to be a voice for the people who were afraid to speak up. And so she wanted to be a voice for the people, and obviously she is, she's the mayor. So, and she's also not afraid to speak, so we made that very clear. She's very outspoken. And then what's the one hope for you hope for your community's future? What the mayor would like to do is to better the city as a whole and bring resources into the community, as far as, the local, fed, and state level, and aware of our needs and accomplish, things with their assistance.
Okay. Right, so that's the hope? Yes. What was the hope? Is that the hope? Or were you on your question?
So that did move.
Okay, so let's go back to hope so I can,
Resources for our community.
Yes. Federal, state, local,
That's much more than just resources for our community. Okay,
All right, so we have Monty, which is recently celebrating his 50th birthday. In how many years?
11.
11 years. Yay! Okay. So, what called him to serve Kirby? So he was in a bad car accident at 13 years old with his father and sister. His father was actually knocked unconscious. San Antonio Fire Department came to help, and he told his mother that he didn't want to be a lawyer anymore, and he was going to be part of the fire department.
Oh, that's cool.
And so July 18th, 1990, he joined the fire department. So that's how he came to serve. The other one was, what is one hope you hold for our community's future? So he said, number one, a new fire truck. New fire truck, and then not to be a stepping stone, to be a milestone in someone's career. Yes, not to be a stepping stone, but be a milestone in someone's career. And the reason why he said that is he wants people to be able to come here, stay, and retire from Kirby. Continue to better the department to keep the people here.
I love that. Okay.
Stephanie?
So here's. Hey, that was good. That was good.
Step into the milestone.
Okay, if you're able to read my writing, what kind of themes are we getting for hope for Kirby? Do you see any similarities? And I can read them off if you can't read it. We've got potential for economic change, creative, innovative, intentional mindsets. We've got thrive, meet max potential. We have accelerate a shared excellence. We have movement of excellence and conscious community. Unified community. Learn to love differences and opinions. Unity. Resources for the community. And a new fire truck.
No, be a milestone, not a stepping stone.
Be a milestone, not a stepping stone in someone's career. I love that explanation of that. So be a place you can complete your career. So what are the themes that you're pulling out of this? Anything that everybody should?
Unity for sure.
Unity,
The need for change.
change,
Growth, change, growth.
So, how many of them are really the same hope? And I think a lot of them do share the same hope. And, you know, and I'm hearing them for the first time, so that's the things that are emerging for me. And I'm sure if we actually like type all these out and do a Wordle, we probably really start to see some themes and some strengths that everybody shares. Okay, so our team playbook. Shared commitments as a team. So if we can all agree that these are our hopes, and we're pretty much headed in the same directions, we're all wanting the same things, we need to make some shared commitments. How we show up. For this team, and I know this is more obvious this here tonight, but I guess you're having a retreat this weekend, and it's going to be all of you together. So when you're a team, when you're together in the room, how does everyone show up, and what does it look like to the outside? How do we talk? How do we make sure the voice at the table is heard? Okay, so how we show up, what people see when the team walks in, how we talk, how we make sure that every voice at the table is heard, even though we may not all agree. It's still important to hear everybody's perspective because everybody's perspective is unique and they have a reason for the way they think the way they do. And you never know, if you listen hard enough, what that person's perspective is going to be and how it might change even your own thought process. But more importantly, to be valued. Everybody wants to be heard. Everyone wants to be heard. And it's important. How we decide. Once this team makes a decision, how do you carry it forward together? Are you carrying it forward disgruntled? I wanted it another way. We always say, do you sink back into the trees and kind of talk to the trees about what you really wanted, or are we, no matter whether you liked it or you didn't, this was the decision as a group, and we go forward and we speak it as the new truth, and you continue to use your voice. Sometimes things will go your way, and sometimes they will not. Because what's really important is how we represent Kirby. I know this from my own town. It's not just leaders, because what happens with the leadership, as everyone knows, begins to filter out to everybody else. And just coming from a place where sometimes we had a tendency to make fun of our own town, it gave us a negative vibe. It gave us a negative, we create our image. And the words we speak out there create the image, whether it's about ourselves, about where we live, about what we represent. And so if we joke around about, like, I won't say some of the things that have been said, but about my town, but when we put something negative out there, it actually sticks and it has a vibe and it goes out to a lot of other people. So if you want this to be the place where people are going to retire and change their lives, the way we represent has to be the way we see the future. That has to be the way we speak about Kirby, the place we work, the place we live, and the place we represent. So, playbook. Are we ready? We're almost finished. Tells you this would be really painless, right? Okay. So, my contribution. I did some research on Kirby. I've known the mayor for a little while, and did my research. I was really driving through this neighborhood with eyes wide open, seeing, how I would say, I want to be your cheerleader. That is one thing that I will contribute. When I walk out of this room, I am a cheerleader for Kirby, Texas. And I want to see you thrive. I want those hopes to be out there in the universe and that they become the truth. The that they become what you are. So what I'd like you to do is that every one of you, before we adjourn tonight, commit to one thing that you can say as a leader that's positive and that you can commit to today. A few minutes to let that. So, a gift you choose to bring, starting every
So,
meeting.
basically, one contribution I'm excited to bring to this team in the weeks ahead. I know, can we continue my commitment? I'm probably the biggest goofball here, and there's a reason I do it, and I'm goofy. It is to bring smiles in a very cutthroat environment. So, Dice commitment, I think I'm going to continue. And I say that to say it's not just inside, you know, what we're experiencing with the there's good things too. There's more good than bad that we are able to see. It's just not focusing on those things, not focusing on all the negative.
Absolutely.
Maybe just your hope. Right.
Focus on love.
So that's something that I would consistently do so I know for a fact I can walk out and say I will contribute wholeheartedly to that.
Thank you.
I'll piggyback off of hers. What I will continue to do is not see people as positions, but as humans. Yeah, I humanize every day. That's what I want to do.
Thank you. It's important.
You does it already. Yes, just make that clear because it sounds like that was.
I know, it's
Like, this is our robust.
But it could be, yeah. So there's AI is happening and keeping the human in the loop is important. I'm looking at you, you're looking at me, so I'm thinking you're gonna go next.
I will contribute in weeks ahead is I'm going to tell admin one positive thing about each one of them. A sincere.
Love that. Love that.
Admin.
Admin?
Yeah.
Your admin stuff, you're gonna tell them one thing positive. Every day or just?
They gonna get one each this week.
Oh, we're back to that.
But, yeah. Love it.
I'm excited to bring, positivity, spirit, positivity, and hope to show, hey, it's not the end of the world. I mean, despite what you don't agree with, or, you do agree with or disagree with, it's, at the end of the day, our leadership team it's not, we're not trying to be malicious in what we do. There's purpose in what we do. And the purpose is, I wish our community understood, is we're working for them. We truly are. And so I hope to bring positivity to not only on the leadership team, on the leadership side, but on the community side as well.
Yeah, thank you. How for you?
So, in the last 2 weeks, I've experienced, I was under the weather, and I noticed that some of my caretakers were, they were going through their roles, and there was no feeling in it. They were just, and I'm gonna use the word cold, but that's not entirely true. But, and this kind of reminded me of that. I think that it's important to humanize people, even though it can be the clerk at the grocery store, or it can be the nurse tending to you in the hospital. But we need to remember to humanize people. And I was in a lot of pain, but I chose to much difference. Their whole demeanor changed. And I think that that's a contribution that I want to keep doing. So,
It's a beautiful way to give.
What contribution I'm excited to bring to this team in the weeks ahead?
You've already started something. You started yesterday, sir.
What was it?
Yesterday? You showed immense amount of patience and kindness.
Oh, we do it. Did anybody else get it?
One contribution that I am excited to bring is continued growth and patience, not only individually, but in understanding that residents in the community of Kirby really, really need love. And despite how it may make me feel, it's important to allow them to share that. That's my contribution.
Wait a minute.
I gave
You
you
don't
extra
have to
time.
hear. I'm trying to help you out. The last time I said so, you said so I'm trying to ask you.
I'll say facts. Yes.
You're gonna bring facts.
Yes.
All right.
Information.
And,
Yes.
and then what, all right.
I think there's a lot of misinformation, and so I'm gonna bring facts.
I like that, okay.
Yeah, continue to bring facts.
Thank you for explaining that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
This is a good one, this is a good one. I did not.
You're helping with your emotional barriers.
And that's it, you survived it. Yay!
Yay!
And you did a fantastic job.
Thank you.
I like that last line right there. No, what's on the bottom?
The community is not watching for unanimity. I can't say it out loud, that's why I do unanimity. But they're looking for, I know what I mean in my head, but they're watching for your momentum. You are the leaders and people will watch. Well, thank you for allowing me to be here tonight. It was very exciting and, it was a little, we did this quickly, but hopefully you found some, meaning in it and it helps you on your journey in the next few days and weeks. So, thank you. Thank you.
When I take a picture.
Around it.
Oh, yeah.
you can't afford time zone phone.
I am not quite that. I don't like that, but I love it.
All right, you want to put it right here?
Y'all just can't take a regular picture, come on.
And I'm going to come down so everyone can be in it. Oh, I thought you were sitting here for a long time.
No, he brought me off to have, some family members will be coming, because we're gonna head back to Zine, so he dropped me off to go pick him up, and then we're all going back with us.
Okay, everybody get in the frame.
They code off.
No, Susie, I was
Give it that ring.
you were really testing it, sir. Okay, everybody, can you get together, like each other?
Turn sideways, kind of.
Are we doing a prop picture?
Well, yeah, I was gonna try to get that.
Yeah.
You don't think it's gonna happen? Oh, everybody said no. All right, here we go.
I took a picture, I just put it together.
Put it together. Oh, okay, perfect.
We got a spot for you, the mayor.
Okay, Ms. Christine, can you please get closer? Stop. Thank you. Okay. All right, here we go. Christine, come in a little more, please. Please. Okay, thank you. All right, here we I'm gonna do. It's gonna be 10 seconds. Maybe I should have did flash. Okay, yeah, we went, no, my bad. Okay. Okay, I'll go down to 5 seconds. All right, I'll do 5. Okay, I'll do 5. All right.
3, 2. Ready?
Thank you.
As we kind of get transition, we'll take a 5-minute break, and then we'll get back started, closing out the remaining of today, in some discussion. And I guess right now would be the time to get some of this, banana bread, if you so choose. Y'all didn't open the snacks for tomorrow today, so, you know.
It's fine to say here, we'll get the weekend.
should probably just make it.
Yeah, I'm just gonna wait, I mean, no, no, I'm not. She's the only one that can make it out of here.
Hey, Captain, I just want to make some keys for you. I haven't had anybody make some keys.
She hasn't, she's been thinking about it, and a lot of people ask her, actually. Charlie. Charlie.
share some information to ground us in what a local elected leadership model looks like, and a way to kind of ground what it looks like as the elected officials in the room and working with staff in what we call shared governance. Using a triangle, you have the top, which is your vision, which is the destination, preferred future, or strategic targets for what you're trying to, or where you're trying to go, like the top, right? Like the compass top. And then you have long-term priorities that help you get to the direction of what you're trying to go. As local elected officials, when they ran, when they campaigned, when their community put them here, they put them here with a purpose. The goal and opportunity is for elected officials to develop, to be able to articulate a vision, strategic goals, and long-term priorities for their community. Just making noise is not necessarily what community members voted for them to come and do. And going through professional development, going through training, people evolve into where they sharpen their pencil to understand how to change policy, impact policy, which helps move the community forward. And so this is a model that kind of sets the stage for the elected officials in the room. And then you have on the bottom left corner, you have your vision and principles, which we kind of will be talking about, which are the strategic goals that we had last year. And then on the right bottom corner, you have your operating guidelines, like what is going to allow me to kind of get there, right? So you have a vision, it's not elected, what am I supposed to do? I'm still learning. You have your principles on what you're going to stand on, and you have your operating guidelines of what is going to allow me to be able to get these things done. Making noise never gets things done. So how do I work with staff or stakeholders or community members to advocate a position to actually move the needle, which comes to policy, which becomes change? All those three things need to take place for that actually to happen. The purpose is to enable Kirby City Council members to work together to identify a collective vision. So the City of Kirby has a mission. The City of Kirby has a vision for the city. The body sets short-term priorities to achieve that vision with roles and operating guidelines that will enhance its effectiveness among council members, staff, mayor, and stakeholders. That's the process. That's the purpose of the process. Having this type of model allows you to be able to move in a direction towards something and not just move. Goals. The goals of why I like to use this model is because it helps you to set these 8 goals, right? Working through how it is that I want to identify, like whatever your priorities are, whatever they may be. How am I going to move that into policy? How am I going to move that to affect change in my community? That's working with staff, that's working with stakeholders. And so increase the understanding and appreciation of fellow council members in order to enhance the ability of council to provide collective leadership for a city. Like if those bodies are working in one direction, the community moves in that direction. If the bodies are moving in opposite directions, the community stays in one place. And it has to be said in reference to, once you clearly understand that, it's clearly articulated and clearly communicated, one must make a choice to say how I'm going to move forward. That goes to goal number 2. Review a model that can assist council in providing effective governance and maximize staff effort in achieving city council's policy decisions. And this model helps us to do that. Gain an understanding of each individual council member's perspective on important leadership issues, needs, and desired change initiatives for the community. That's what the retreat does, which then gets everybody on the same priority, moving in the same direction, with different points of view. When we're saying the community moving in a direction together, doesn't necessarily mean everybody has to be on the same page, right? How do you work through as a body, if we have more members of the body here, but to get us on one page to say, hey, out of the 10 things that we could all do together as a body, here's 2 things or 3 things we agree on, and here's how we can get it done. I seen that yesterday, for example, around the acronym culvert. The problem is identifying how the body is going to prioritize making that happen. Everyone in the community wants this, but it's incumbent upon a city council to be the voice to the community for them to understand that they want it too. But what they say, money don't grow on trees. And so now how you prioritize that in your budget to be able to, one, communicate that we all want the same thing, the acronym culvert fix. But if we only have $1 that costs $450,000, how are we going to make that happen? You have collaboration, you have relationships, are important. But if you keep doing, if things keep happening the way they happen, anyway, develop collective council vision with desired futures, provide clear and long-term policy direction. There's an opportunity we just talked about as an example. How we move that shows how collectively the community comes together. Imagine, wait until there's able to be ground broken, contract signed, for everybody to take ownership of what it's going to look like when the acronym culvert is temporarily fixed and then finally fixed for the next 40 to 50 years. Everyone will take that victory, right? And so part of it is like identifying how we're going to do that collectively, how we're going to pay for it, and then how it benefits everybody else. We want to clearly clarify roles and develop a set of operating guidelines to maximize effectiveness, which is what staff does, partnering with city council, giving directives, and moving through that. So that is the local elected officials model on discussion. I just want to ask you all one question before we move on. I can get this open. Okay. The question is, and you can write it, you don't have to be a long sentence, it could be a couple words. What does good governance look like in Kirby? What does good governance look like in Kirby? What does good governance look like in Kirby? We have anybody on Facebook? We got 6 people watching, at least right now. The question we're describing or writing down is, what does good governance look like in Kirby? If you have an opportunity, please drop, the comments or send us a note. What you think good governance looks like in the city of Kirby? Send us a note.
On the DM? Ooh, DM us.
DM us. Yeah.
Direct message. She's looking like something else. DM you.
Everybody ready to share?
We need a whole page for this answer.
We'll have a lot more governance conversation tomorrow. Just give us one little, in reference to what we just went and talked about, local elected leadership model. What does governance in the city of Kirby look like? Saturdays. All right, everybody ready?
We need, I think Mary needs a couple of survey opportunities. She's on the mayor. No, she had it with her. I thought she was saying, it's a movie. No. I thought you were deep in thought.
All right. Who's coming up first?
Oh, you want to go up there? So I just looked at a few words. Confident, understanding, and not taking too much into it, so I'm gonna get to a word part. The view of the elephant. If no one has ever heard that, it's a Buddhist saying or a Buddhist story of perspectives, where a lot of people don't like. A lot of people don't realize that Christine might say something, and you might oppose it, but you're looking at it from a different point of view, and she might not see your point of view. So I think everyone understanding the view of that.
Thank you.
That's the model of the firehouse, view of health. Honest, the collective body coming together in agreement or disagreement to move the community forward.
So, in the last couple of years, I've kind of taken a step back, and I think of Kirby as evolving. So I think of us as an evolution. So what I would love to see is, what I think is good governance is when we're all working towards forward momentum in Kirby's evolution.
Thank you.
So I said, I wrote down some words, respect, integrity, patience, acceptance, and diversity. I think we lack all of these. I think that they feed into one another, like I said earlier, I'm not feeling the love in Kirby anymore. And by implementing more of this, I think that Kirby could be a better place, and that good governance would come out.
Thank you.
What does good governance look like in Kirby? I think, so, vision and leadership, mayor and council have to have a clear and shared vision for the city of Kirby. Transparency, accountability, and the main one I think that should improve some of the, I don't know what was described, but it was like the elephant, right? The view of the elephant is for us making more effort into providing an excellent service delivery. I think that if we work towards more customer service and how we respond to people, we get a better result at the end of the day. So. Behind the scenes are all of our
So I wrote a couple of things on something. Integrity, ethical decisions came to mind. Also, solution-based. Just don't come with like complaints or concerns. We also need to come with solutions to the table and provide correct, truthful, and accurate information. Misinformation is a number one threat, I believe, that can spread quickly. And then just protection and safety, family, women, children, the elderly against predators.
Okay, let's give ourselves a round of applause. Good governance. Good governance. So thank you all for obliging as we continue working in self-discovery. I want to, I know we're wrapping up here soon, review two things. And that is the City Hall operations, which was, I think, one of the last things on our agenda for tonight. In City Hall operations, we have the internal structure and the departments. You have the fire department, where we have three captains leading the City of Kirby's fire department. We have Chief Cardona leading the Kirby Police Department, which under there is dispatch and animal control. And then you have Public Works. In Public Works is streets, utilities, which is water and sewer. You have parks and recreation, along with facility maintenance, which is all falls under Public Works. That's where And we have here with us our director, Kathy Gomez. From that, you then move into the big house, which is at 112 Bowman Street. And we needed some TLC, which is the administration. Here at City Hall, you have municipal court, you have utilities, which is water, sewer, trash. You also have permits under Revenue Development Service, Community Development, still part of administration. And then you have the city secretary's office, keeper of the records, which is also in administration. And then you have the office of the city manager, which is also in administration, along with finance. And all of those make up the administration of the city of Kirby currently. From that, how performance and expectations and accountability. We know that residents have seen a lot of turnover or a lot of experienced a lot of challenges. What we'll say is what we've tried to do as a team is build employees up to be able to work through the challenges. Have we always got all the challenges correct? No. But we're striving to do that. And so we are asking for the support to continue to build our organization, to continue to provide expectations that the employees who work here want to be in a safe, healthy organization where they can come to work and provide excellent service in a fiscally responsible manner. Isn't that the mission? Yeah. And so, if that's the mission, how do we stay true to that while serving?
Providing therapy.
We have ESP. But from that, it's important to also understand the flow, understand why people come to work, understand why we're here to serve. It has been, it's important to acknowledge our victories. We've had many losses. Cities had many losses. But we've had some victories, specifically in the last year, that we all can be here to talk about today, a year later, because we had a strategic plan retreat, because we all were moving in a cohesive direction. We all bought into the vision, allowing grace to be our driving force. Some people wanted to quit. Some people wanted to stay in the silos. But everybody made a choice who was on the staff side to want to be encouraged. Working with city council leadership, the mayor, we've tried to do this to have some coalescing of like leading at different levels, shared governance, two different lanes, moving in the same direction. And as we're running, when we're passing the baton to each other, everybody has a focus, everybody has a role. And it's the city council to set the priorities, give direction, and it's for the staff to catch the baton and execute on those priorities. And so that worked for us last year. And hopefully for 2026, 2027, that will be for the next 3 years, we've set on a path to be able to show that we can succeed. So take us home to the last part of what we wanted to do. Is in the back of the room are the seven strategic goals that was adopted last year by this body. And so I wanted you to look at those goals. I'll read them out. One of the first was enhancing public safety and emergency readiness. If you all have been a part of the city of Kirby, that's exactly what we did all this year. Putting in new things, going to new trainings, showing our public safety and emergency readiness because we were tested this year. As we continue to work as a team and building on that, that is one of the goals that I want to move to next year's plan. Yeah. But what the big was, how do we support, how do we continue to add on, how do we continue to build and grow? The ICSC training classes that many of you went to. ICS. Yeah. FEMA training, 300 and 400. Hosted here at the Kirby Fire Department boutiques allowed us to be able to continue to stay ready. We had I don't want to say what type of storm it was.
Severe weather event.
A severe weather event. And actually, what's interesting, FEMA called today. Now, they didn't call about that storm. They called about last week. I was like, I was going to tell them they late. I tell them they late for Kirby. But they didn't call today. So, number 2 is advancing infrastructure and beautification projects. We selected as a strategic goal from this retreat last year. City Council adopted this, and guess what we're able to do as of a year later? Moving in a direction to advance infrastructure beautification projects. Talk about some of the things that we have planned. Talk about some of the grants that we are currently filling out. That priority that was set by City Council allowed staff to catch the baton, to continue to set goals and objectives to reach those things. So when people say that how we got here and they don't understand, the strategic goals are there for a reason. And maybe we need to advertise more. Maybe we need to get a sign and put on our, this is the 2026, 27, 28 strategic goals, right? So now people don't know. You don't have to wonder where we're going. Just like I said the other night. We going forward. The train continues to stop to allow everybody to get on. But the community is moving forward. And so we don't want to be closed off to anybody. But we want to be very resolute that we're going to move forward. Because City Council set priorities. That's what we're talking about. Number 3 was strengthening community engagement and transparency. That was a goal that came over. We didn't have the money, got the money. We upgraded branches, put in just for you. Our website is being redone. We got mass notification. We got TIP 411. We got YouTube. We got Facebook. We got, I don't know what else we missing. You can get robocall. You can get email. You can get text. 27 different languages. I mean, that may be good. What's going to be our mascot? Right? So when people say, I don't know what's going on and what's Kirby doing, we got goals and priorities, and all we've been doing all year is working to hit the mark. Number 4 is modernizing city services and embracing technology. Just talk about some of those things. Right? Advancing technology and modernizing city services, permits, being able to do them online. Actually, City Council voting for the first time to have a permits clerk. Whoa. Not saddling the city secretary who's supposed to have 8 arms. Right? And so we wonder why permitting department, permitting the records, money was short in those areas. Because you have a person who's battling many things. So this council, this body, the last budget cycle, put in for a permits clerk. We just hired a person. And so the community be seeing that person working with our city secretary and chief procurement. Focusing on how do we then move the needle, because last year we increased permits 100%. Let's brag about it. When you focus on a department and you put the necessary changes, you get results. Number 5, supporting economic development, local business growth. So there's some room for improvement, but there's some things that are going on. This year, people are going to be welcoming. We had some commercial spaces open off of Springfield. If you're looking for commercial space, please go check them out. Please come to Kirby. We are working with a supermarket, grocery store coming to the community that's got a permit to open sometime within the next year. And so that's when we get into buying and shopping local. To whom you give your money is to whom you give your power. Citizens need to know. Even though the H-E-B's close, the Walmart's close, anytime you have an opportunity to spend money in Kirby, getting your ice at the QT, getting your ice at Kirby, for your barbecues and things, going to the restaurants that we have here, going to the Dollar General when you can, that money comes back to us within sales tax. Goes to crime control, goes to street maintenance, and it goes to vehicle. On another note, number 6, improving housing and code compliance. We've got a lot of complaints. What have we did this whole year working on code compliance, training. Our code enforcement officer is doing the things necessary, working with the police department, in the notification process, and then kind of moving through the citation process. And so now we've finally got our building and standards trained, and they'll be having a meeting coming up here in August. And so from that, we are now ready to see the results. The labor has been put. Now it's going to bear fruit, but it's not, fruit that needs to be tender. It needs to be worked. And because we have put in a plan this year to continue to work those areas. So we have listed improving housing and code compliance. That is making sure people beautify, care about the community, cutting their grass. There's been some proposals in reference to what are we going to do? Are we going to start holding people accountable for what their property is like? If we want to increase the property value in Kirby, we have to upgrade some of the things we're doing. Number 7 was investing in organizational culture and staff development. If we're going to be successful as an organization, if we're going to be successful as a community, this had to be on there. You all know, I can't speak for more than 4 years ago, but we all know within the organization, without this being a critical part of our strategic goals and plans, how do we move forward? This city council, this leadership, has given us the necessary tools for us to have come this far. Our strategic staff leadership meeting that we've done all week, our readings and knowledge-based growth, our leadership huddles every morning has allowed us to all align ourselves and build our own organizational culture. You all are taking that information now, it's supposed to be sharing it with the other employees. That's the only way Team Kirby wins. Staff development is that. We've had, talked about staff meetings, engagement. We had our benefits fair last month, June. Was it June?
No, June. Yes.
June. Benefits fair in June, where employees got to engage with benefits providers. And so those are the 7 strategic goals that we're asking City Council to look at, to bring over for this year. But at the end of the retreat, which is tomorrow, we want to have you all flush out what the priorities are. So then that gives us direction to be able to support and move forward. This is something we'll put up on the board, we'll have council members touch it, feel it, write on it, and add to then give us some feedback. Thank you for allowing staff to be a part of your city council leadership retreat. Thank you for believing that no one does this on their own. And so us being here together, both leaders in the community, just working on two different sides to actually support the community. And so, one, I just want to say thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem, for coming. And I'd like to thank the staff for being in support as you all helped to put this on. I will review for tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll start early at 9 o'clock. We'll go through several iterations. We'll have our law firm there, engineers there. We're going to kind of go high level, in the weeds a little bit in reference to major projects that are going on. What do you all want to see? What do we want to accomplish? We're going to go through department by department. We'll be giving an update, and then we'll probably get into some budget overviews towards the end. So we'll have identified our strategic goals for the year 2026, 2027, and then tasks to help us get there. If you have not participated in our City of Kirby Parks survey, Parks and Recreation survey, please do that. We're trying to get 100 people. Thank you all for being with us. We know you could have been anywhere else on a Friday night, and you chose to be here at Kirby City Hall. So thank you. Mayor, for you to close out.
Tomorrow we're still going to continue because no matter what, like the train, like Dr. Rowan said, it's going to keep moving forward no matter what. So tomorrow we're going to have a great time, learn some more. So I'm excited for tomorrow, but thank you all for coming tonight. And thank you for Fortunatos, and we can give them a round of applause. Another local organization for providing the food for tonight. But again, thank you all for being here.
Thank you. Tomorrow will be at 322 El Paso Street, San Antonio, Texas. It is on the agenda. I will see you there.